Right, still can't go to the cinema.
Why did you leave me all alone? You tell me you need me.
But this only came out in February, so it's basically new anyway. It's a Hindu film. I'm going to pronounce a lot of the stuff wrong, and the main character's name I can't pronounce, so I'm just going to call him Adi. I'm sorry. So the name, Malanga, Unleash the Madness. I believe Malanga means vagrant. One sentence summary. Adi goes on a Christmas Eve revenge murder rampage 5 years after being wrongfully imprisoned. Could you beat the villain? Michael Rodriguez, I can pronounce that one, is a cop investigating Adi's murder spree, and it turns out all the cops are being killed helped Michael cover up crimes back in the day. And Michael, he's got problems downstairs because of, a childhood trauma, and he's afraid that everyone will find out and think he's not a man. He's so afraid of this, he's willing to murder someone to to cover it all up, even though she doesn't really know. And then he turns out, actually, the only way I can feel like a man is by killing women. So he's a mixed up guy. Anyway, could I beat him? Yes. He is absolutely terrified that someone's going to find out he's got, problems down there, and they won't think he's a man, and they'll make fun of him or whatever. So I just tell everyone, and he would probably kill himself. He does not take this well when he even suspects people knows about his problems. Well, there you go. Right, how do you improve this film? So this isn't really the film's fault, but I spent the whole thing trying to work out where I'd seen Sarah, so Adi's kind of love interest, before, because I knew she wasn't the love interest or mum in anything I'd seen previously, any of the Hindi films, and those are really only the two options. So I looked it up after the film, and she was the sexy belly dance lady in Buggy 3.
Generals gathered in their masses.
In that club that was run by ISIS, which was weird.
I was like, good gracious, ass bodacious, flirtatious, trying to show.
The prisons in all these movies always look basically Victorian, and also there is a bar in Adi's cell that he could have definitely Epstein himself from if he was in, the mood to do so, instead of just using them to do pull-ups and get super ripped. The movie starts with a long take fight scene that, it starts off pretty good, but then some of the cuts are actually quite obvious and shit. And then it goes into a slow-mo fight in the rain, and you're thinking, oh man, that's pretty cool. And then later in the film, there's another slow-mo fight in some sprinklers, but so basically the rain. Just one or the other, don't keep doing it. Adi rips a dude's shirt in prison, so he's grabs him, rips it, and then the guy falls down. And then the very next shot is the man on the floor and his shirt isn't ripped. Why would you do that? Anyways, those toilets, I'm sure it's a reputable restaurant he's in, but those toilets don't look like the most hygienic place to be doing cocaine, officer. And also, you got to worry about the guy's judgment, because he's all hey, wipe the fingerprints off this gun that I've used to murder this dude with a wet wipe. I don't know if that's how forensics work. Agashi, I think I'm going to pronounce that incorrectly as well. He's a renegade man on the edge cop because his daughter is dead. And a couple of points about that. Number one, he's so goddamn renegade, he can shoot a sign there, even though he's pointing his gun over here. He shot it and the sun exploded. Amazing. Curve that bullet. Anyways, so he's clearly punishing himself with the drink and the drugs and the beating people to death and stuff. And there's a cop who's been working with him for at least 5 years, because you see him in one of the many flashbacks. And this cop knows that Agashi's daughter had died in his arms. So obviously the guy's not dealing with the trauma very well. He's gone all self-destructive. And you would think at some point someone's got to say dude, you are not all right, you need some therapy. And I really think that that line is when Agashi is beating a suspect in a police station and he's screaming, this is my style, this is my style. It's someone's really got to sit him down at this point and just say, look, maybe you need to take some time, mate, because it's been 5 years and you're not feeling any better. If anything, I think you're getting worse. Anyways, that's just my 2 cents there. Why would you turn up to a crime scene and the body is hanging out of a window, publicly displayed for all to see, and you think, yeah, this is probably a robbery? Nah, mate, that's the most like personal revenge murder I've ever seen. Also, they were like, yeah, we think he died of blunt force trauma to the head. Who did the autopsies? He's still hanging out the goddamn window. And I'm sure that Sarah meant well when she product placement, dropped that iPhone and that iMac to that blind man who was a homeless dude. But what's he really going to do with them? Like, can he sell them or something like that? I don't know, but there. Who wears a backpack to a rave? Addy does. He's a dick. Who's got his hands in his pockets on the dance floor? Addy does. Don't trust a man. There are several shots in this film that are very fake, such as the fireworks and a couple of the backgrounds. Like, that was the cheapest green screening I've seen in a while. And why is everyone surprised when this illegal rave that's been blasting music for a number of hours and is letting off fireworks is rumbled by the police? Like, you had to expect that was coming, surely. Also, bloody Johnny Law shows up and Addy's all like, cheese it, I'm out of here. Why would you leave the hot chick, dude? Just bring her with you, honestly. And I don't think they were really driving that motorbike a lot of the time. You know what, that didn't look real. And LSD and acid, are they still a thing, even at your secret raves that easily get rumbled because of the noise? Because those seem like olden days drugs to me. Is the abbreviation of ecstasy EC, or would it just be the letter X? Because that just makes more sense to me. So they meet Jessie, the prostitute slash drug dealer. More on her later. And she says to Addy and Sarah, are you two together? And Sarah's all like, yeah. And then Jessie's all like, temporary or permanent? Calm down, all right? They have only just met. You are putting a lot of pressure on the situation. They haven't even swapped names yet. Strangely enough, though, Sarah's like, yeah, we haven't decided yet. And like at this point in the film, she's planning to dump poor Addy like the next day. So that's just cruel. Don't lead him on. Anyways, I've got some unresolved issues there. So going swimming at night, as a couple. Oh, it's fun and it's cool and it's sexy. No. You ever seen Jaws? You're insane. Where did they get that tent from? So they wake up on the beach in a tent. Neither of them brought the tent to the rave. Where did it come from? Anyways. And yeah, so that's the harshest rejection I've ever seen. So bearing in mind, bloody the last night, old Sarah's like, oh yeah, we haven't decided if we're together just for now or forever. And then like the next morning she was like, well, that was cool. See you later. And old Addy's like, hey, give me your phone number. She's like, yeah, I ain't got a phone. I'm done. Peace. And she just leaves. And like, you heard his little heart break him. But don't worry, he kind of deserves it. He's a shitty dude. Michael Rodriguez and his police buddies, they were like, hey, we're looking for a woman. Long hair, dreadlocks and tattoos. Which is weird, because the witness said she was white, which he didn't mention. Bearing in mind this is set in Goa, so like, that'd help her stand out, surely. Also, the witness did not mention that she had tattoos. So where did you get that information? And how do the police know that the suspect is wearing a red hoodie just by tracing his phone? That's mental. There's a parade of masked Father Christmases in this film, and it was terrifying. I hated it. That's stuck in my nightmares now. So Sarah, she's walking along this cool little country path, and Addy, that dude she rejected, he just happens to show up, even though he said he was leaving town. And he's like, hey, did you come to Goa alone? She's like, yeah. I was like, damn woman, are you trying to get murdered? Have you never seen a documentary about someone who went missing? Jesus Christ. Pay attention. But no, he doesn't kill her, so that's good. Sarah's thing is like, oh, I'm going to conquer fears. And he's like, hey, let's do it together. Because he's desperate not to get dumped by this incredibly attractive woman. So they like jump off a cliff multiple times. Then they jump out of a plane. And you see him pull like 2 little knots off of this bracelet thing that, reminds her of, these are all the fears I've got to conquer. I feel like jumping out of a plane and jumping off a cliff. That's both heights though. So just do one or the other. You've already conquered that. Move on to the next thing. One of the times that Addy jumps into the water, he's got his bloody vest on, and then he goes under the water. He's not wearing his vest. He surfaces. He's wearing his vest again. Stupid. Sarah appears to be holding old Addie's GoPro, filming them as they drive along on that motorbike. They were definitely driving for reals. Which is strange, because like you see her doing that. Hey, like I'm filming myself. Cool, yeah. But then you can see the GoPro on the front of his bike. So, you know, what was she using to film? Because she doesn't have a phone, unless she was lying about that, because she didn't want to take his number. Don't stand on the speakers at a rave. I feel you're going to get told off, but, you know, it's just health and safety, isn't it? Also, that's someone's equipment. Don't be disrespecting that. So, yeah, Jessie, the prostitute drug dealer, who's Swedish, I think, that came out of nowhere. She's all like, you know, I think this lifestyle's going to kill me someday. And she's in a hospital bed having overdosed that evening. So, yeah, good guess there. But later in the film, she's all like not locking her front door. And then Michael Rodriguez, who, you know, at this point, no one knows is a serial killer. But he just strolls in. You're like, well, maybe not, you know, the whole drug scene. Maybe that won't kill you. But probably try locking your door, you know? Stop murderers walking in, dumbass. But luckily, she doesn't get beaten up and almost killed. Well, she does get killed by that guy later in the film. But at that point, it's just her mate, so that's fine. There's a bit where Addie and Sarah, really romantic, he's like, hey, come with me. And she's like, oh, yeah, okay. And then they stop at this house, and he climbs over the gate. And he's all like, come on, let's go inside. She's like, we can't break in. And I'm expecting him to say, don't worry, this is my parents' house, or this is a friend's house. They're away for the week, or whatever. But it's not. They actually break into that house, and then wear the person's, like, the owner's clothes, and then light 1,000 candles in their living room. And at that point, I thought, I know that he's been wrongfully imprisoned, but he deserves to be in jail anyway, because that's not cool. Imagine, like, you've gone out for the evening, you come home, there's two strangers in your house wearing your clothes, and they've lit all the candles. You've gone to the extent of buying 1,000 candles, because obviously you need them, and they've gone and lit them all and left them all in your living room. Fire hazard. Anyway, I'm getting upset. Bastards. There are 3 cuts where Addie jumps over a rooftop, or between rooftops, and Tom Cruise would have done it in one. Just like the bit where they jumped out of a plane. Tom Cruise wouldn't have faked it. So they're in the football stadium in the car park underneath it, and it's weird because there was a TV in the car park showing the game. That just doesn't seem like a real thing to me. And there's a few instances in this film where the subtitles don't match up with what people are actually saying, and it made me wonder if all the bits I didn't understand what they were speaking matched up with the words I was reading at all. Prime example of this is, never ask a lonely person why he's giving company. That was said by Jessie, the prostitute drug dealer, and she's a woman, so surely she would have said, never ask a lonely person why she is giving company. Sarah discovers she's pregnant, you know, which doesn't really tie in with that cool carefree lifestyle she wants to live. And then she witnesses Agashi's teenage daughter being shot and killed straight in front of her. You know, it's a stressful old time. You think, oh, bloody Addie, he definitely fancies the pants off her. He's going to be there for her. He's going to mature. Nah, he waits for her to fall asleep, and he's just fucking out of there. He gets out of town. I was like, you bastard. Like, you deserve that jail time. Not for the breaking in now. For that. Anyway, they work it out in the end. It's fine. When you are spreading someone's ashes at sea, say your daughter has died and you're very sad about it. The wife wasn't there, so Christ knows. The mum. So he's just like spreading the ashes in the sea. And then he just like basically chucks the urn in the sea as well. So, well, I guess you don't have a use for it if there's no ash left. Addie has an old friend who's introduced for one scene and is never mentioned before or again, which I felt was odd. But also he's like, hey, I bought a 3-bedroom apartment, but he's talking about his wife who he's been bitching about the entire time, but she made it home. And then you see his house, and it's not a 3-bedroom apartment, it's a house. Guy's mental. It took years to plan foolproof murders like this. Were they really foolproof murders though? Because basically, Addie surprises someone, beats the crap out of them, and then, spoiler alert, Sarah, who's still alive, she injects them with enough drugs to kill them, which is what they did to her. But like, I'm sure it took a little bit of time to work out where everyone was going to be on Christmas Eve. That's impressive, but I wouldn't really say they are foolproof murders. Old Michael Rodriguez is talking to his dirty cop buddies, and he's all like, "Hey, you know how to cover up a crime scene, don't you?" And his cop buddy's like, "Yes, I do." And he just chucks what he believes is Sarah's body into a river. There's no finesse to that. That's not covering it up. But there's a bit where old Addy is in the police station, and Michael Rodriguez is revealing his big old plan. He's like, well, you see, the reason why you're here and you're killing all my mates is because I can't get it up. I thought your girlfriend knew about it, so I murdered her. You know, I'm sorry about that. Also, I'm a serial killer now. Ha ha ha, evil. And then old Addy's like, you bastard, I'm going to get you. And a bunch of cops like rush in the room and they're like, protect Michael Rodriguez. So I feel if they were close enough to like hear him go, I'm going to get you, they also probably heard Michael Rodriguez is like, well, I don't want anyone to find out that I can't get an erection. Agashi, he's all like, hey, send all the police officers home. A, because he's going to, murder Addy, yeah, because he thinks he's a cop killer. And B, because he's just ashamed of his life and himself. And the weird thing is that they do seem to send all the cops home. And like, I know it's Christmas Eve, but you'd think you'd have a skeleton crew. And then also weirder, he doesn't do the attempted murder in the police station. He drives him out of town. So why did he have to send everyone home? Weird. And I'm sure the actor who played Michael Rodriguez didn't really punch the actress who was playing his wife. But Jesus Christ, that was a brutal gut punch. I felt bad for her, honestly. In the flashback, Michael Rodriguez and his fiancée are getting married in a week. And she's all like, well up for it. You know, which is her right. But how has the whole, like, no sex before marriage thing not come up before this? Surely they must have mentioned it previously. And, like, with the fiancée, whose name escapes me, Mrs. Rodriguez, we'll call her. She's pretty keen on the idea. So you think that he would at least give it a go, and then if he can't, step into action, he would like, man, I'll order some pills off the internet or whatever it is, or like go to his doctor and get a herbal charm or something like that. I don't know. Instead of just the whole, man, I'll go and visit a prostitute, and if it doesn't work, I just kill her. Turns out she wasn't even a prostitute. She was just staying with a prostitute. Mental. Michael Rodriguez's wife, Mrs. Rodriguez, she's cheating on him because after 5 years there ain't been no banging. And she's guilty. She's getting these text messages. She leaves the room. Michael Rodriguez, he walks into the room. She hasn't even locked her phone. Idiot. And then so later, Michael Rodriguez is all like, I know you're cheating on me. It's because she's barely even trying to hide it, mate, honestly. I think she wanted you to find out. Point is, his plan is he's going to frame her boyfriend for assaulting him and murdering her. And his brilliant, evil cop mind is he does the, like, I'm going to kick my own ass thing from Fight Club and Liar Liar. Which I guess, based on the copping we've seen in the film so far, probably no one will like, this seems legit. Anyways, at the end, there's a weird flashback where one of the evil cop dudes is smoking, and in the corner of the screen it says, addicts don't get old. They die young. Which, good, no smoking. But that guy doesn't die young because he's smoking. He gets thrown off the roof of a stadium. So it's a confusing message. And then, right, at the end, it's like, hey, no evidence, no witnesses, case closed. I feel like you're giving up really easily. Like, I know you probably don't want to investigate this because you know that Michael Rodriguez is a bad dude. But, like, no evidence, no witnesses, case closed. The murder's just happened. So, like, at least give it a day or two before you're like, well, no evidence, case closed. Anyways, rating out of 5 beers. Yeah, this subverted my expectations a couple of times. It was pretty like on the nose with a lot of the drugs and the violence and stuff, which I wasn't prepared for. There's a cool shot of the burning serial killer board. That was artistic. And I liked when Addie's friend, who was never mentioned ever again, or previously, when he was introduced, he was like, "Hey, hold these bags," and Addie takes them, and then the guy just belts him in the face. That was pretty good. I have to use that. Yeah, moral of the story is, I'll give this 4 beers out of 5. It wasn't terrible, but like I wasn't invested in the story, so every single thing that I didn't quite understand or didn't make sense, I noted down in my head, and obviously I now have shouted at the screen for 25 minutes. Anyways,